Hi, Julie.
And good morning, and good morning. We're going to give it another couple of minutes to get people logged on. In the meantime, did somebody say it was going to rain today around here? Is it?
I
Yeah.
I did.
It
I
is,
said
yeah.
so.
Thursday.
It
Oh,
will. It will.
well, okay, fine, whatever.
Rain is good, Julie. Particularly when we haven't had it in 4 weeks, and we only get it
Yeah.
out of 4 months, so out of the year. So we might need it.
We do, we do. But you're in the you're you're here in the Bay Area. What happens when it rains? People just don't know how to drive.
That is
But I
that is
don't
very
need
true.
rain for that.
Well, yeah, it just compounds everything.
hmm
That
So,
might be universal.
right? Lynn, tell everybody where you're calling in from.
I'm calling in from San Diego. I'm,
See?
I'm originally, long time ago, a Jersey girl, but yeah, I've been out here for like 42 years, maybe something like that. So I'm more SoCal than I am Jersey at this point, for sure, age-wise.
And where in New Jersey were you from originally?
North Central, town was called Chester. It's in
Okay,
Morris County. So sometimes people know, excuse me, know Morristown or
Okay.
sure.
Hackettstown or Dover. Gerald, what
I
about you? Are you
I
East Coast or been there
I
at some point?
am. I
Nice.
grew up mainly in New Jersey,
Oh, nice. Where were you? Or are you?
East Orange,
Okay.
Plainfield. Those, yes.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah.
Sports. We played sports teams together.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. And I played sports. So, yes, absolutely.
Nice.
Margaret's here. Hi, Margaret. Um, Pete, Lynn, Pete, because Pete's in San Diego. So, Pete, what brokerage are you at?
Home Smart.
HomeSmart. Okay. Oh yeah, I remember now. I remember seeing that. And and Lynn's at
Hi, Pete.
KW.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah, I'm at KW San Diego Metro.
Well,
Awesome.
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Pete.
Awesome. Hey, I'll drop a name right now. Do you guys know Brian DeVore? Lynn does.
No.
No? Brian, well, he might be here for this meeting and then he's going to be here later today, my other meeting. But Brian does seniors real estate to the nth degree. He's with Berkshire Hathaway. We love Brian, huh, Lynn?
Yeah, I've just met him a few weeks ago. I had kind of heard his name a little here and there, but yeah, I actually met him at a function that we were both at, again, trying to help serve seniors. And so it's like, okay, this is the infamous Brian.
Did he talk about the TV show coming up?
No, he we were talking more kind of generalized than that, but and people were coming. We had like booths and stuff, and I was going around to see the other booths and stop to talk to him. And then I'm like, that name is ringing a bell. Why is it? And then it was like, oh, and then someone came over and said, oh, you're as someone who we work with, who's one of our vendors, is like, oh, you're the you're the go-to senior real estate specialist. And I was like, afterwards, I went over, I'm like, okay, what do I need to do so that's how you respond to me when you see me? You give me a hug and you're like, woo, but
Exactly. That's exactly the track, Lynn. And
and
he's on it. We're on it for
yeah,
sure.
he's the
Definitely.
only one in San Diego that's on the membership for National Seniors Agent Director. I got the telephone number here. I'm gonna call and see. Are you on that directory? I probably could have just looked.
Um, so there's a couple of directories. Which one is that?
The Nationals seniors agent directory?
Yes.
National.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I should not embarrass myself. I should just look you up and see that you're there.
Well, no, because there's the seniors agent directory.
And you had a link to the Seniors Real Estate Services Network. So
That's our website, but
okay.
there's the senior.
What does that mean? You mean this group? So
Yeah, this
it's
group, yeah.
servicing real estate
Yeah.
agents rather than a resource for okay.
All
Yeah.
of the Tuesday recordings that we have recorded are on that site. We have 80 plus presentations.
Nice.
So if you go on the website, you can watch them.
I think I've gone directly to it, so I probably wasn't as aware of, that was this, whole organization that you have there, because I have watched some ones that I wasn't able to attend. So that's good to know. Thanks,
Julie, we
Skip.
should probably get started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 11:37. Well, I'm going to introduce Gerald. He's with AirMedCare Network. Did I say that right?
You said it perfectly. In fact, I should
Awesome.
probably give you a prize for saying it without equivocation. So good job.
Wonderful. We're going to talk about this amazing service, and it's under the category of who'd have thunk that this was important and that we need to know this. Well, that's what Skip and I think about. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and have you get started, Gerald. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much. Can you allow me to share? It's not
Yes.
permitting me to do so. Thank you. It still says it's disabled for some strange reason.
I just hit there you go. I hit the button.
Okay. Hang on one sec.
Hi, Katie.
Hi, Julie. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Trying to figure out here.
Cool. Can everyone see my
Yes.
Can everyone see my screen? Great.
Yeah, all your emails.
Well, no, you shouldn't see my emails now. You should be seeing my
Well, we see your
PowerPoint.
email.
No, we only see the emails.
Oh God.
Have you opened the PowerPoint?
I did.
Do you go to the top?
I did. I
says,
did.
So you did
How about now?
slideshow, and then there's start at the beginning.
Oh yeah. No, I hit slideshow.
Maybe if you have more than one screen, maybe it's picking up
I
like
think
your
so.
default screen.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
must be.
You can just unshare and then make sure you've got the right window with the like little blue box around that's the one that you're going to share.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should not be seeing my emails. We have a lot of security parameters. Start slideshow.
Yeah.
There you go.
There we go.
All right. My goodness. So,
Oh, you dropped it.
It went back to your email.
Hit the PowerPoint icon at the bottom right.
yeah, I did.
We had it there for a minute.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. How about now?
No, it's your email.
Wow.
Maybe Gerald can fiddle with that, and Julie, you could share some other great knowledge you have. Can you tell us about the upcoming thing at 1:30?
Sure. Okay, speaking of directories, so I was contacted by a group that is with the Senior Lifestyle Network TV, seniorlifestyletv.com network. They have 2 channels on Roku. They also have, so they have senior programming, obviously. And I mentioned Brian DeVore earlier. His program that's coming up is going to be on that network, plus all of his network affiliates. So they have a national directory, seniorsagentdirectory.com. And I think that's what you mentioned, Lynn.
Mhm.
So today they're going to do an informational webinar this afternoon at my market makers group at 1:30. And I'm going to be recording that as well. What we're going to talk about is a little bit about the directory and what it means to us and how it's going to be marketed, how it's going to engage with the homeowners and consumers and families. And then we're going to talk about the seniors lifestyle TV. And then that they're going to talk about all of those things in because as sort of as an introduction to our group on what they're doing. Because in the coming weeks, we're going to do some video podcasts, and they want me to do these video podcasts, and we're calling it Senior Solution Segments. So we're taking some of the subjects that Skip and I have done in the past with our group, and then some current subjects, some up and coming subjects, some things that could get suggested, like like Gerald today in a video podcast, I would invite him to join me and spend 10 minutes talking about the product, the service, the whys, the wheres, and what fors. And then we put it in an entertaining fashion in a video podcast to go
Okay,
on
Gerald,
these networks.
Gerald, do you have the PowerPoint open?
I do.
Go to share screen,
I've done that.
and you're going to see a bunch of boxes, and you want to select the one that has the PowerPoint in it, not the email.
Because
I've done that.
I don't see the screen. I don't see the share.
Well, you
I
can't.
don't think he's sharing right now.
Okay. You scared me.
So if you got the PowerPoint open, share screen, and then choose the window that has the PowerPoint and hit that. Still nothing?
Struggling with sharing the
Yeah.
presentation.
So you guys do have sharing turned on, right? Because when I click on share, it says you have to request to share to this meeting.
Yeah, he's got to be co-host.
Yeah,
They gave him the ability. He didn't
Yeah.
initially have it, but yeah.
Maybe he logs off and logs back on.
Well, he's still showing there.
If you change the permissions after he came on, maybe that's a problem.
I've never had that problem before because I always forget till the last minute.
He's not on the screen at all. Oh, Gerald.
Oh, he's right there.
Yeah.
The
Hi,
other
David.
thing,
Hi, Mickelin.
the other thing you might want to
Hello, Gales.
send it to
Ladies and
Julie
gentlemen.
or me, and then we can advance the slides.
That would work.
Could have a block
I think he's
set up in his browser.
off and logging back on.
Oh, yeah. I see that. Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
He's gone. I don't think that's.
Okay, while we're waiting for that, I'll go to the agent affiliate spotlight on page 2, because these are some really cool people to know. Positive aging community. I met Steve. We're going to do a panel discussion in May, a virtual live event that Jessica and Mark are doing. They're from our colleagues from Southern California. Anyway, so they introduced me to Steve, and Steve has this amazing community, positive aging community, and has been doing it for years. He's from back east, so he's not local, but everything that they do can be emulated and duplicated by what we do out here. Most of the time I'm like, okay, well, I want to learn what you're doing so we can implement those kind of practices and out here with what we have available. So look into that. And then See Me, Seniors Helping Seniors, is a franchise, a national franchise. And what caught my attention about this particular franchise in the caregiving business is that they're seniors helping seniors. They hire seniors. And I thought, oh, what a great idea. So she's teaching me a lot about that business and introducing me to the whole concept of it. She's local, but it is a national in nature. And we're going to have her on. And what I'm looking forward to is speaking with some of her
I had to
caregiver
join.
providers. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had to join on a different device. That device is a very secure device and it doesn't allow many things. So I'm just hoping, yeah, and I'm just hoping that I can be seen now.
Yeah. Well,
Nope, you can't.
we don't see you,
There's
Yeah.
nothing.
but I'm making you co-host
Yes.
in this new window. And we're gonna say hi to Avery and Carlos. I speak English.
Hello.
And Jessica's here. Hi, Jessica.
Hi.
We're just getting our slides going here. Hopefully. There we go.
Not yet. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good. You got it.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I do apologize. My company sponsored laptop is ultra secure and it does not allow certain activities. And I had to use my personal laptop. So I apologize for the inconvenience. So you can see my deck now, correct?
Yes. Well, no
Excellent.
problem. We are familiar with that concept, so we're
Okay.
good.
Well, I'm glad because I would feel terribly bad if it were just me that had that experience. So thank you very much. Um, so my name is Gerald Malloy. I'm from a company called AirMedCare Network. I am the account/membership manager for the greater San Francisco Bay Area primary counties, every county with the exception of Marin. So that's Contra Costa, Alameda, Santa Clara, San Mateo, and Santa Cruz counties. So I work largely within that swath of territory, but occasionally I work with clients that may be in distant locations that have some semblance of a presence here in the larger Bay Area counties, as mentioned. As I understand the task for today, it is to discuss, if you will, how AirMedCare Network can positively impact seniors and some of the potential challenges that they face just in general as it relates to being transported either to trauma centers, hospitals, or intercommunity transfers. So an intercommunity transfer would be, for instance, if if the senior were hospitalized or in a care community in Florida, and their children lived here in the Bay Area, and they wanted to be transferred from that care community in Florida to a care community in the Bay Area. With a membership with us, we would enable that transfer to occur quite seamlessly. The only thing that they would need to do is to list the Bay Area address as their primary address. And then we would arrange for transport. So how do we do that?
Gerald,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
the print is pretty small for us to read. If you
Oh, I'll make it
go to
bigger.
the the
I'll make it
slideshow
big.
and then
Yeah, yeah.
current the second one from the left.
Yeah, I'll
Nope,
do
go up.
that.
Second from the
Right
there.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you see it now? I apologize.
Much better.
Great. So how do we do that? You know, I was in tech before coming to AirMedCare. So I should be able to get around a little bit more seamlessly. When I look at things, I'm looking at things from my vantage point. So I apologize for not being able to see it. Thanks for that, Skip, letting me know. So how do we enable, memberships to occur in the manner that we do and service them as well as we have? We've been around as currently constituted since 2011. However, we are a 40 plus year old business. The bulk of that length of time is with an organization called GMR, which is Global Medical Response. We are the country's largest medical membership air transport service. So that is what we do. We've been doing it for well over 40 years. We operate in 38 states, of which we have over 320 locations, and we've got 3.2 million members, and it's growing by the week. As the population tends to age and as the need for the level of service that we provide increases, our number of members increase simultaneously. We have a number of assets, both fixed wing as well as helicopters, and I'll explain how both work. If you are in need of transport to a hospital or trauma center and you are within a certain parameter, meaning a certain geography of up to, say, 150 miles, we will transport you from the point of your incident, accident, whatever it is, catastrophe. We will transport you to a hospital that is nearest to where that incident occurred. So we use helicopters for that. If you are, as mentioned, in a care community that's greater than 150 miles from your home, and you want to be transported from that care community to a care community nearest your home, we would do that as well. And that's called a fly you home type of membership. And I'll get into how fly you home works. Okay. We're approximately 5,000 employees. Many of our staff comprise the flight staff, which is not just a pilot, but also a nurse. So an emergency room nurse is on all of our assets, whether it's a helicopter to stabilize you from the point of the catastrophe to your arrival at the hospital, or if it's on a fixed wing jet when you're flying from one care community to another, you will be accompanied by a nurse at all times. Usually at this point, I ask, are there any questions? If anyone has any questions, please ask them.
The
Yes?
uh, the place where you first pick them up, if that's an accident scene, are
Yes.
you considered first responders? Like,
We can be. So let's go back one slide. So because we are the largest air medical provider, air medical transport provider, in many cases, we will be a first call. The first responder is going to be 911 dispatch folks. So that's going to be your EMT staff. They're going to be the actual first responder. And then because we are the largest provider, as mentioned, of air emergency transport, we will likely be the first emergency transport service that will transport you to the nearest hospital or trauma center. So we get dispatched by 911. So when 911 is called, and then when the actual responder notes that, this person is going to expire if we don't get them to a hospital or trauma center, then 911 calls us after they've gotten messaging from the actual first responder themselves. Does that make sense?
yep.
Okay, good. Um, So yeah, so this is basically, an open-ended discussion. As mentioned, if anyone has any questions, please, please ask any questions that you have, and I'll gladly respond. So the reason why you see a fixed wing asset there is because when you're dealing with Fly You Home, and Fly You Home is a membership that we offer. We offer three basic memberships. We offer an emergent membership, which covers you for your local transport to hospitals or trauma centers, right? And then we have a Fly You Home membership, which covers your transport between communities. And then we have an international membership, which covers you not just not just international transport between communities from someplace that's considered foreign or international, like Paris to back to the Bay Area, but also all these memberships encompass travel in general. So you don't have to be hospitalized to be transported. Excuse me, that's not true. You don't have to have an emergency uh, immediately to be transported from a hospital, let's say in Florida, or a care facility in Florida back here in the Bay Area. You don't have to be a senior to enjoy that. You can be just someone that's not quite a senior, or you can be an adolescent. You can be, an adult that's not senior or adolescent. It covers the entire family. So our memberships cover an entire household or an entire family that lives within that household. So if you, for instance, if you have 10, 15 people in your house, like I did growing up, you're going to have coverage for the entire household. And a membership with us is a very simple membership. So the first membership, which is an emergent membership, is going to be $99 a year, covers you, everyone in your household. Okay. And that covers local transport for the most part, between where the incident occurs and to the nearest hospital or trauma center. The Fly You Home membership, which is $149 a year, covers you and everyone in your household as well. Okay. Transport between hospitals and or between care communities. And again, you don't have to be a senior to take advantage of this membership. And then there's an international membership that covers you and everyone in your household as well. So there's a tremendous amount of flexibility, but because since we're talking about seniors, I kind of geared the presentation to having a senior discussion. Does anyone have any questions?
No, but I have a recommendation for you.
Please.
No, I think I have somebody for you that would really want this information. I'm going to send it in the chat.
Okay. You said that they would find the information very helpful for them, you said?
Well, he's doing a very high-end membership for families who want to have access. It's about accessibility. That's what you're doing.
Sure, sure.
So this is the gentleman, and so I think he has some kind of membership. It's $7,000 a year for kind
Yeah,
of like concierge services, but now he's going to do something with seniors that's like $1,000 a month.
that is
But I
that
couldn't
is
find I couldn't find you on LinkedIn to make the introduction. Are you on LinkedIn?
no, I'm not. That is a very high end, as you mentioned, type of membership, $7,000 a year or $1,000 a month, whatever it is. That's very, 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 very high end. Um, so we are, again, those three memberships, which is emergent, $99 a year, that covers the member and everyone in their household. Fly You Home, $149 a year, that covers the member and everyone in their household. And international, which is $375 a year, which covers everyone in their household. So as you can see, it's considerably less than the high end level of service that your friend is offering. Now, I oftentimes get statements that, well, I really don't need this because my existing insurance covers this. Your existing insurance will cover about 60 to 70% of what an air transport bill would be. So average air transport bills can be as low as 50 grand to as high as 120 grand plus. So do the math on either 50 times 60, which is 30, which means the rest of the 20 that you have to pay out of pocket. And obviously, if it's $100,000 a year, $50,000 coverage and then $50,000 your baby to pay for is not very attractive. So with a membership with us, all of that goes away. And as mentioned, you don't have to be a senior. You could be anyone that wants peace of mind, that wants to have the latitude and flexibility to travel, and not necessarily have to worry about this sort of expense ever cropping up. Okay. So you've got to be stable to be flown, right? So I'd mentioned that on our planes or our helicopters, when you're being transported from point to point, there is a flight nurse, in addition to obviously a flight crew. The flight nurse stabilizes you. So on our helicopters and our fixed wing jets, that effectively is a flying emergency room in many instances. Okay, so that's the beauty of that. Now, when you do arrive at a hospital and you're taken in and obviously they're going to treat you. And then let's say that you're in, I hate to pick on Florida, but it's a good state to pick on because it's far away and we work extensively throughout the state of Florida. But if you're at a hospital in Florida and you want to be flown back here to the Bay Area nearest your home, or flown to San Diego near your home in San Diego, you would have to be stable to fly. In other words, you can't be in critical condition. You have to be capable of flying on one of our fixed wing assets and flown back to California. Now, the remarkable thing is your membership of $149 covers that cost. And if you're flown on a commercial asset, you're still accompanied by a flight nurse with the associated equipment to address, an incident that may occur or may not occur. So $149 a year covers that person, and again, everyone in their household. Any questions?
Uh,
Yes.
I have a
I can't.
question.
Yes.
Oops, sorry.
Go for it.
So when you say anyone in the household, so what if someone wanted to go with the person who needs the flight?
One
Or
person we
would,
would take.
oh,
One
oh,
one person. One person other than the person that obviously is being flown,
okay.
accompanied by one of our flight nurses. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
I don't know. Could an assisted living community sign up for this?
They could.
I
Yes.
think that's where I would be running with this.
Yes.
Yes, where
Yeah,
I would totally be running with this.
An assisted living community could sign up for this. Yes, they can. Yes.
yeah. So I
No,
have
on behalf of their, I'm sorry, Gigi, just on behalf of their residents or on behalf of like the executive department, could offer
Yes,
this to the families of the residents and the families,
that is correct.
or they could use it for, an amenity.
Yes.
Okay,
Oh,
Gerald, real quickly, can you fix your camera so I can see you talking?
you cannot see me talking?
There.
Can you see me now?
Lovely. Yes. Oh, there you are.
And
Thank you so
Gigi's been
much.
waiting.
All right, Gigi, go ahead.
Yeah, so my background is in senior living, so assisted memory care and what have you. And so it always frightens me when our seniors take Uber or out there. And let's say, for instance, they get into an accident and they're not able to communicate, right? For whatever reason, 911 is called. How would 911 know that they have your membership? So, right, if you ever go into the RCFEs and CCRCs and what have you, um, how 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 would 911 know that they are a member?
So, like most instances in life, you carry identification, and we provide identification stating that you are in fact a member. So you have a card or an emblem on a key ring that we would provide you, and 911, your first responders, if you will, they typically look for marks, those types of marks of identification of different services that you might be part of. And for the record, I too am a little bit frightful of taking Uber and Lyft. So, and I'm not
But
a
it
senior.
happened. So I'm just
Yes.
trying to figure out the logistics and how can they be identified because
Yes.
seniors they don't always carry keys or they so I'm just trying to figure out how this yeah how this could work in the space that I'm in. So
They would have an identification card, I would hope. I mean, hope
yeah,
they carry identification. Well, we provide you with an identification card, which you should keep on your person.
yeah, they don't always have identification cards because so for many of them they can't drive, right? So they
Right,
can't drive have a
right.
driver's license. So I'm just trying to think this through.
No, no, no. Those are valid questions. And in the instance that they don't have any identification as such, when 911 is summoned and 911 determines that, hey, they need to be airlifted, after they're airlifted to a hospital, I mean, we can sort through all of this stuff. The family, the facility, or the community can sort through all of this stuff, after they're being provided for. And we'll note the fact that they are a member. So in many instances, the hospital will, they'll search and ask if, ask one of the providers such as ourselves, is John a member with you? And we'll say, yes, John is a member. We have a database of all of our members.
Right, but would you want to airlift them where the car accident happened or wherever the situation?
Yeah, so you're not familiar, you're in San Diego.
No, I'm in the Bay Area.
You're in the Bay Area. You ever heard of Vasco Road?
Yes,
So Vasco Road is a two-lane road that connects Livermore to Brentwood,
yes.
as for people that may not be from the Bay Area. Typically speaking, every year on Vasco Road, there are 3 to 4 catastrophic accidents that
Yes.
occur. All of those accidents that occur, of those 3 or 4 accidents that occur that are catastrophic, a helicopter is involved. A helicopter swoops down, lifts the person, and takes them to the nearest hospital. So in answer to your question, in many cases, freeways or roadways like Vasco Road is closed by first responders or CHP or an EMT service in this particular instance. They summon a helicopter. The helicopter comes and retrieves the person from the roadway.
So Gerald, in terms of identification, you know how they have like the bracelets
Same
for
thing.
people? Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe something like that. Is
Yeah. We have a card. We don't necessarily have a bracelet. We just have a
maybe you
card.
could.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's been discussed, as it were, within the halls of power here at AirMedCare. So they are considering moving in that direction. Any more questions?
It would be wise for seniors.
Sure, absolutely. It would be wise for anyone, to be honest with you. Yeah. So as mentioned, there are a number of challenges, right? That fly you home addresses, and as you look at the screen, you see, there's a helicopter. A helicopter is the first means of getting you to the hospital, right? So, we do need helicopters. So once you're taken to a hospital and you want to get out of there and be flown back to a location nearest your home, then that's when we use the fixed wing jet, right? It's a bedside to bedside coordinated effort. So the family doesn't necessarily have to, worry too much about the logistics, if you will, of having their loved one transported. There's a lot of communication that occurs. The communication is seamless. We try to provide as much of a stress-free transfer as possible. We
So
want
I
to
have
make it as easy. Yes?
Gerald, on the transport, let's say, for example, someone was going to Mayo Clinic and then they wanted to go to a study, be part of a study down in, like Arizona Cancer Centers of America or whatever. And then, this other, situation as things progress, they ended up in Seattle. Like how many times is there a certain amount of times that your service is available, like in a year or overall? How does that work?
So just let's say this. So each flight has to be medically necessary. You just can't go from location to location just because there's some sort of a groundbreaking test that's being conducted at a specific location.
No Vegas. No Vegas.
Yep.
No Vegas.
So I've personally know that there were at least four separate fly you home transfers for one person in 2025. So each of
So does
those,
that mean they went home and then they got better, so then they went somewhere else? And then like how does
so
four times happen?
so they were flown from one location that was outside of the 150-mile radius of their home. They were flown back home. They got well. They ventured out again and had to be flown back three more times. So that
Okay.
those are the four. But the scenario that you painted of being flown from uh, someplace other than Minneapolis or where Rochester, the closest airport to Rochester, Minnesota is, and then from Rochester, Minnesota to Arizona, and then from Arizona to Seattle, that would be rare. It would have to be medically approved before one would be able to take those flights. And that's typically the way that would work. Now, I'm not saying it couldn't occur. I'm simply saying it would have to be approved before it can occur. But in answer to, I believe, the larger part of your question, I've seen more than one or two of these types of transfers within a given year. We have an expression, we want everyone to be a member, but we never want anyone to use our service. Because if you're using our service, obviously there's some catastrophe or some sort. Someone is ill. But when you do need to use our service, we provide the best service imaginable. And we've been doing it for, currently constituted today since 2011. And if you go back to, our beginnings just as GMR, we've been doing it for over 40 years. Questions? So we know how difficult it is to travel in general. And obviously, when you get to be a senior, that gets amplified, exponentially. And we understand the stress that places on not just the actual senior themselves, but their support group, which is family. And notwithstanding the high cost of being transferred is astronomical. That $149 is an investment. It's an investment in peace of mind. It's an investment in the best possible method of transport that anyone could ever pay for and pay for reasonably. We don't have, a lot of folks that have used our service that's not been pleased. Everyone that I've heard, and we do take surveys fairly regularly about the quality of service that was rendered, whether it was empathic, whether people saw immediate value and enjoyed the transport as much as possible, and everything has come back heretofore very, very positively.
Don't forget the cost per hour includes an awful lot. You're getting not only the transportation, but you're getting the personnel, the nurse, the flight crew. You're renting the airplane. All the fuel and the maintenance experience will be paid for out of that charge too. So there's a lot of things to pay for that the membership or the hourly rates in most cases have to cover.
That
Sorry,
is correct.
sorry if this is a repeat question. So, the qualifications, they have to have been hospitalized or some type of medical, like this is not like just somebody who wants to go from moving across the country and they have a diagnosis of dementia and really can't go on commercial. There's people that like travel with companions over the country because they can't go on a plane for whatever reason. It's a little complicated. So, if it's just we're paying for the service because, we got to get mom back and forth, I don't know, once a year, her family, but can't go on a regular commercial airline, would that qualify?
So if there is a diagnosis of medical, or in this particular instance, a psychological slash medical
Cognitive issue.
cognitive issue, and it can be documented medically by a physician of some sort, then mom can be flown. And but mom would have to, or dad would have to be in some type of care community, flown from that care community back to a location nearest their children, okay, to a care community nearest their children. So yes. And flying commercially it's 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 I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it's beyond difficult. I was on a flight coming back from the East Coast, and there was a senior person that was on our flight, and they had certain challenges, needless to say. They were.
Well,
Hmm.
yeah. I mean, I just think,
Hmm.
the concierge medical services, I just sent your information to some people on LinkedIn
Hmm.
that do like very high-end concierge type of medical. And
Yes,
yeah, that's your jam. And then really kind of business managers, I think, like family offices and stuff like that, or assisted living.
sure, sure. I'll take a look. I'll reach out to that person, and we can chat. And obviously, some of the some of the higher end stuff, as you mentioned previously, for certain people it could be prohibitively expensive. Um, for other people, it may not be as not may not be prohibitively expensive. If they're reasonably well off, or their children are well off, or families well off. But these are three simple memberships that provides a high level of service for a very, very reasonable and cost-effective price that not only covers the member, but everyone in the household, whereupon perhaps the concierge service only covers the individual member themselves. So those are considerations to take into account. Um, our services are, they're pretty much all encompassing, whereas concierge, and I'm not trying to say it's not worth it. I'm saying it just focuses on one individual per se.
So,
It
Just
kind
for
of,
Gerald,
clarification,
go ahead,
just
Lynn.
for just for clarification, Gerald, on Jessica's question. So, is it they like from a car accident, for example, or some hiking accident or whatever, your company could come in and get them to the hospital. And then other than that, it would be like if that hospital, they found out there was more traumatic, injuries, your company would then take them from that hospital to another. So does it have to be like hospital, or senior care to senior care, or accident or senior care and fly them home? Are the three scenarios? If it's not so easy to break it down like that, I'm sure.
No, no, I think you did. I think you did an excellent job. So yes, we retrieve you from the immediate point of where your particular incident occurred to the nearest hospital or trauma center. You're flown to that hospital and or trauma center. If they can't provide you with the level of service that you ultimately need, we will transport you to a hospital or trauma center that presumably can. There are hospitals and trauma centers in the Central Valley, so sometimes when people are in accidents along I-99 in the Central Valley, because we have tule fog this time of year, and a helicopter picks them up and takes them to a hospital nearest to where the accident occurred, uh, and they get to that particular hospital trauma center, and it's deemed that they don't have the resources, manpower, or ability to best serve that particular person, then they're taken to someplace like Stanford or UCSF. and we're typically involved in those interchanges and exchanges. Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
You just
Okay.
brought up a good point, though, about the Thule fog. If there's an accident and there still is Thule fog, the helicopter wouldn't be able to land there, say if it's 00. So they have to be transported somewhere first where the helicopter can pick them up then?
That is correct. So
Okay.
we had a devastating accident back, I think, in the late summer. Um, some of which was, was weather induced. Some of it, perhaps, there were certain other challenges. But anyway, um, if the Thule fog is too great, no, that we can't, obviously fly a helicopter and land a helicopter safely, endangering the lives of our crew and potentially speaking people on the ground as well. So in those instances, the individual will be transported by ground to that nearest facility, or to a location where the helicopter can safely land, and we can pick up the injured individual and then transport them to, again, the nearest hospital or trauma center. Okay. Any questions? Yeah, we talked about, using fixed wing assets to travel long distances, and fly you home is typically, a distance of greater than 150 miles. That's what fly you home is all about. From community to community, that's greater than 150 miles, and we would make the evaluation. The person has to be stable, as mentioned. We do the evaluation of eligibility. Eligibility means it has to be medically certified that that particular individual would be flown. Okay.
In your example you were just talking about there with like the accident, so is that still 150 miles if someone's 20 miles away from the hospital that they would, because don't they want to take them to the closest hospital?
Yeah, the nearest hospital or trauma center. So
Okay.
fly you home is between actual communities themselves, right?
Oh, but
The,
fly you home is
yeah,
150 miles.
or greater, yes. So
Okay.
the fly you home
Thank you.
is between communities and or facilities. That's what
Got it.
Fly You Home is. Yes. That is that $149 a year membership. The less than 150 miles is the what's referred to as immersion. I'll send out a digital application that's very simple to complete, as well as this PowerPoint deck. Julie, you can disseminate it as you wish, and an explanation of all the services that we provide. So you'll have it, in print format, such that if I'm not around to answer any questions, you can refer to the print format. But I strongly encourage anyone to give me a call if you'd like to, chat a little bit more about what the service can provide.
So
So do
far,
you,
let me give you a little question for understanding.
Yep.
If So my mother lives in a senior care community in Southern
Hmm.
Illinois,
Hmm.
and for some reason we deem it necessary for her to move to closer to me
Yep.
in California.
Yes.
So I would be able to use the Fly You Home program in order to get her transferred from there to the senior living, to my geography, so that she can go to that next senior living community. Or
That is
what if she
correct.
was coming to my home in my care?
Um, it's really community, excuse me, it's facility to facility, care community to care community.
Okay, good.
But what
Okay,
but what you should do in that particular case, Julie, is when you become a member, make sure you list your mother as a member of your household
right. Oh,
and
gotcha.
using your address,
Yeah.
such that when they arrange for transport from that I don't know, Peoria, Illinois facility community to a community nearest your home, your mother, your mother's address is your home.
Gotcha.
Okay?
And then for family memberships, do they all need to be
I'm going to say,
legal family members or
nope, I'm going to say something. And Julie, if you use this to incriminate you, I'm not going to
It's
send you a,
recording, Gerald.
Okay,
I
so the only
know.
reason why, before you say
I'm not
that,
going to
what I'm
send you a
thinking
Christmas
of,
card.
yeah,
Go ahead.
if
Go
there's
ahead.
a care home, like
Yes.
care care community
Yes.
facility
Yes.
that has residents or members, and
Yes.
then that particular community needs to have them transported maybe to another community. Could that entity, purchase this kind of a program in order to have those residents avail themselves of this service, the Fly You Home?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be good or bad. I mean, to be, if we're really looking at this, it's like the amount of money to be a membership is very minimal, correct?
Yep.
But air transportation is really expensive, correct?
Yep. Yep.
So we're banking on the fact that we have a lot of memberships that really aren't being used.
That is why I said we want everyone to be a member, but we don't want people to use the service both from a personal reason, meaning the actual person themselves undergoing a catastrophe,
Yeah.
and us, because we have 3.2 million members, not all 3.2 million people use the service. Less than 2% of the people use our service that are
Plus,
members.
you probably need to be in a medical condition that's,
That require
almost.
that requires being transported by one of our assets. That is
Yeah.
correct.
That's why I asked about the dementia because it's not necessarily considered medical. It's more custodial, a cognitive issue versus medical issue. You could have a diagnosis of Alzheimer's or memory impairment, but it doesn't mean that you need medical assistance.
Okay, so if a physician, that's what I said previously, if a physician states that there are medical reasons as to why that particular individual with that cognitive dementia needs to be transported from St. Petersburg, Florida to San Diego, California, then that is part of the actual evaluation that would necessitate them being transported.
So if somebody was moving, you
No,
know, you know, because there's so many transportation services. So this is really, it can't be really used as my mother can't live here anymore. My mother has cognitive issues. She's going to be moving in this assisted living community. It could be a continuing care community with a skilled nursing, not necessarily going to go there. But just because I need to transfer her from here to here, and because she is cognitively declining, doesn't really necessarily mean she'll qualify for transportation services because she doesn't have a medical need.
well, no, if she has a medical need to be transported, for instance, you can't transport her for instance, let's say her address is listed in San Diego. She's at a care facility in San Diego. You want to transport her to a care facility in Florida. You cannot do that because it wouldn't be Fly You Home, it'd be Fly You Elsewhere. And we don't all have any Fly You Elsewhere memberships. We have Fly You Homes. So the
I,
reverse would be true. She could be flown from Florida back to California, but it would have to be medically sanctioned for her to use that service.
I think the key actually is if it's medically required and a doctor signs off.
That is
So if
correct.
they do sign off, then they can use the service, and if not, no.
That is correct. It has to be medically certified by a physician. Yes.
Have you had many people that you're aware of, Gerald, that have the, dementia scenario and they are able to get closer to family and they were listed as, living there, so they would be flown home?
As long as they had a medical document stipulating that they required medical attention and that medical attention was being offered at their home care community, yes.
Would it have to be the medical attention is not
Yes.
something given at the existing place? So there's
No,
some,
no, they
no? Okay.
they are going to be better able to convalesce. Their faculties would be better accounted for at a community nearest their family here in California, assuming that California is listed as their home address.
And it's mostly case by case, especially for fly you home, right?
Not necessarily. I mean, as long as there is a medical level of documentation, and it's evaluated and positively affirmed that that particular individual should be flown from, a facility or community that's outside of a 150-mile radius of their home to a facility or community nearest their home, it will be done as long as there's medical documentation.
So your membership co collateral probably has all of everything sort of written out.
It does. I mean, it does once you become, once you become a member, it stipulates everything, but the digital brochure is not going to have the in-depth answer every question type of response. I'm going to have a description that I'd mentioned, a written description that talks a little bit about each membership that you can retain and utilize as a reference. But if you fly you home as mentioned, it's a very very minimal cost service. You need medical documentation to be flown on one of our assets for the Fly You Home membership, and it flies you from community to community. The community that you're being dispatched from is outside of the community nearest your home, and that's pretty much that's pretty much that. And it's a
So now,
hundred. Mhm.
how do you operate or interact with local HMOs such as Kaiser?
Um, well, Kaiser is separate and apart from what we do. We're not an insurance company. This
So
is this is not insurance. This is gap coverage. Gap
yeah,
coverage for what your insurance carrier doesn't provide, or if you don't have insurance at all. So we don't necessarily interact with Kaiser or any of those other entities per se, not unless we're going to have a discussion with them about what they didn't cover.
well, because I'm leading up to most people, well, I have insurance, isn't what's
Doesn't cover it
I thought
all.
I have coverage. What's going on?
Nope,
And why is this different? And then because it is gap coverage, so we have to explain that.
that's correct.
So, and then a lot of people might think that, well, I'm on Medicare, wouldn't Medicare pay? Wouldn't they pay if I had to be picked up by a helicopter at a car accident and then I get a bill and then, well, doesn't Medicare pay for that?
No,
Right? I mean, but
they
people are
don't.
going to think that.
Yeah, they
Well,
Medicare, they don't pay. I mean, there are limitations, right? I mean, if there weren't limitations, our deductibles wouldn't be as so high as they are. So, but there are limitations that what Kaiser doesn't pay, what Blue Cross Blue Shield don't pay, and so forth and so on. United Healthcare, there are definite limitations. And so the way we approach those limitations is we just tell people out and out that a membership with us, in the event that you're air transported in any way, shape, or form, a membership with us makes the difference between what your existing carrier doesn't pay and what your bill is after what they don't pay. We make that go away. They pay what they pay as part of the coverage that they offer, and then we take care of the rest of it ourselves.
Yeah, I think gap coverage is a really good way to communicate
Yeah,
like what this product is.
that's exactly what it is. It is gap coverage. We are not an insurance provider. This is
Right.
gap coverage. Gap
Skip.
coverage for peace of mind.
I have a question.
Yes.
So I wrote down some questions on the chat. I think you answered most of it.
Okay.
On the other hand, if you have three services, one is emergency, the other one is fly home, and the other one is international, is that correct?
That is correct.
And the one for emergency, $99, what does that cover?
$99, for instance, that is if you have an accident, you need to be helicoptered to a hospital or trauma center. The $99 covers that. Let's say you live in California, you're mountain biking in Colorado. I love to mountain bike. You're mountain biking in Colorado. You're in the Rockies someplace. You hit a tree stump. You go head over heels, and unfortunately, you injure yourself. And a helicopter is called. You get picked up and taken to a hospital nearest where that accident occurred. The $99 would cover the cost of your air transport to that hospital.
And
Once
that is
you're
in combination with fly home?
No, that is separate. So once you're in that hospital in Colorado and you want to come back to California because you're injured, right? You can't fly commercially, you're
Okay.
injured.
Then
You
I
want
use
to be
fly home.
you want to be flown back to a hospital nearest your home such that you can finish your convalescence here. Fly you home would pick you up from that hospital in Colorado and transport you back to a hospital here in California.
And
That's
what
what
international, how much and what that covers?
International. Okay, so we offer a combination between what the emergent or the emergency $99 a year coverage is, and we blend that with the fly you home, and that equals $235. So you've got emergency plus fly you home, and fly you home is only domestic. It's only domestic. International is international. You get flown from a hospital from an international location to a hospital nearest your home here in California, as well as it covers the emergency piece of it, the $99, as well as the domestic piece of it, the 149 or the 190, excuse me, the 99 plus the 149, we average it out to like 235. So
So there is
international covers everything.
only two charges.
International covers
Yeah.
everything. Covers, yes. International, domestic, emergency. Yes.
Good.
So do you
And
have many people who do the emergent one and the fly you home, kind of combine that?
Yes, they do. In fact, 90% of the people do the two because they find value in the ability to be covered in the event that they do travel domestically beyond that 150-mile radius of their home. Yes.
And is
And
it
then
called emergent or emergency?
no, emergent.
Okay, that's what I
Emergent.
had.
Yes. Emergent, Fly You Home, and Fly You Home International are the three services. Emergent plus Fly You Home is $235 per year for you and everyone in your household, whether you're related or not. And what I was going to tell Julie, if you have children and they're at university, use your home address for those children at university. If you have children and or a parent, use your home address for your children and your parent. So, such that they can be covered under one household. So
what if I have a household full of
Ads.
seniors?
use your home address, Julie. That's all I'm going to say. If you want to be on my Christmas card list, use that home
It's an
address.
amenity. It's
Yes.
amenity driven.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I love it.
Yes.
So in the
That's a
case,
good deal.
Gerald, of the
Yeah.
question that I think it was Gigi who asked, I think it was Gigi who asked about the assisted living community.
Yes.
How would they do it? Like when people sign up and that kind of thing, that's just listed as an amenity. And for each, residence, not even resident, but each, like let's say apartment, they would pay, let's say I'm just going to use a $99 example. So they would the assisted living community would pay, or, you know, as an amenity, they would pay that to you, your company, or do you have something more comprehensive for the assisted living community where they could kind of buy into the program and offer that as like, look at this great amenity that we have for our residents?
Yeah, so what would happen in that particular instance, the assisted living community could not be declared as one household.
Yeah.
They would have to sign up as a company, right? So their membership would be on a per member basis. Individual households are different in that instance because they're not companies, and an individual household can list 10, 15, like I said, a lot of kids and so forth and adults in my house. So you can list all the members of the household in that
But
unique way. But
they're
but
not looking for proof of residency?
um for a household,
Yeah.
if you list an individual as part of your household, um, within reason, right? They can't be the president of a company in New York City, and you list them as, you know, a member of your household, and you know, and in our back office, you know, starts looking at, you know, John Smith, and John Smith is a president of IBM in New York, but you've got him listed in your household. That's going to send off a red flag.
Okay.
Okay. I'm trying to keep it as clean as possible, but offering a level of flexibility that makes it enticing for people.
Well, I think you said it, that you can offer a company plan.
Yes,
So a senior living community in whatever fashion
that is
can
correct.
purchase a company plan to
Yes,
provide for their residents.
right. So let me give you an example. A lot of counties and municipalities, as well as corporations, I've been chatting with a lot of the AI firms. And the reason why I've been chatting with AI firms is because they're in this massive competition for the best and brightest people to join and stay employees of their individual firms. So AI firms are beginning to use this as both a recruitment and a retention tool. So this extends beyond what we're discussing today as as an amenity, if you will, for, our seniors, or a senior community per se. This is an across the board type of gap coverage membership program that has a high level of attractiveness for a number of different entities and individuals. So it's more than just, the discussion that we're having today. It's beyond that. But it is also about what we're discussing today,
Yeah.
and its implied value there.
Yeah, which I very much appreciate, because the first thing I think of is my association here. I mean,
Yes.
the membership here could benefit from this kind of offering. So,
Indeed.
and it's exponential what could happen with that.
Exactly. Because they don't have to be seniors. They could just be,
Yeah.
just individuals that haven't, achieved that wonderful age of 65 and plus. They could be your children, you know. They could be your brothers or sisters or business associates or what have you. Yeah, your club members, your businesses. It's limitless in terms of what it addresses.
So do
Well,
Yeah.
go ahead, Skip.
no, you go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say this is a really good resource, because we are in the business of, sometimes we're in crisis management. And so this is just a plan, an offering to be able to provide our families with something forward thinking, so that they can face crises and challenges. And we just happen to work with 65 and over, or 55 and over, but it is for everybody. And so so we'll be able to work with that going forward. Go ahead, Skip.
Do you and your own equipment, aircraft, and hire your own crews, or is
Yes,
it
sir. Yes.
okay? So you got to comply with, I guess it'd be part 135, and
Yes.
okay, All right, good enough.
Yeah, that's a very good question, Skip. So not only do we own, maintain, and hire the staff ourselves. So we are in direct compliance. We have
And
a
how many
co-
aircraft do you have?
Jesus, 3,000 thereabouts.
Aircraft?
Well, no, combination of fixed wing and helicopters.
Well, that's aircraft.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Certain people call fixed wing aircraft, and they don't really count helicopters. Yes.
Those that aren't pilots do.
Yeah, yeah, that's there you go, Skip. There you go. But the benefits of what we do as mentioned, and you guys brought it up. I mean, you certainly provided ample support for what I was attempting to communicate. This is a tremendous benefit. Um, there are obviously certain corner cases that it's not going to be for everyone. And those corner cases, insofar as the Fly You Home program, it's not a travel agency, so you just can't travel from point to point. It has to be medically certified. You've got to be in some sort of community or facility in need of being transported to another community or facility, away from where you were and want to come back home to where you can convalesce. It's a travel benefit, such that if you're traveling internationally, and a lot of people typically buy travel insurance, which they think covers a lot of their medical needs and requirements. It does to a certain extent, but it gets truncated at another extent as well. So this is a very peace of mind approach, and it has tremendous benefit for people that just want to travel and not necessarily worry about some of the logistical nightmares that can typically crop up when we're traveling.
So do you have regional hubs for your?
Yeah, I'm close to the Concord Air Force Base, Buchanan, Skip knows Buchanan Field here, nearest my home. So yeah, there are different locations throughout the state of California, throughout the West, throughout the South, Central, so forth and so on.
So when you become a member, do you get a document that that tells the member where the hubs are?
We are in 38 states, and we've got 320 locations within those 38 states.
Do you
In
have
answer to your question, yes.
do you have a list of those states, Gerald?
Yes, I do. You
Like,
want me?
So if
so
you
You,
only in
you want
third,
you want
what
me
if
to
you're in
name them?
state number 39?
Then
What
you're
if
in
you're in
state number
state number 39 or 40?
you're in state number 39 or 40. We don't cover, again, as mentioned, there are corner cases. We don't cover everything.
Okay. So that's
Yeah.
good to know.
Yeah.
what determined what states get coverage, just like your staffing and fleet of planes and helicopters, or is it something
It's
else?
no, it was the ability to work out an arrangement with the actual state itself. And when we were able to work out arrangements to service that particular state, then we service that particular state. So just so you know this, like in the Northeast, and particularly speaking around the greater New York area, we do not have a presence because that is an ultra urban area. And because it's an ultra urban area, there are certain issues that we would encounter in terms of servicing that area. We don't service Chicago, that meaning the greater Chicago land space. We don't service that.
So even within states, there might be areas or like urban areas or whatever that don't get serviced, even though they're on one of the list of 38 states.
Yeah, and I could think of Illinois as just being the only one that meets that criteria. So there are very few places that are as urban as Los Angeles County, and we service Los Angeles County,
Okay.
right? So we service Los Angeles, the city itself per se. So
We
yeah.
might want to think about wrapping it up here to respect everybody's time, maybe about 10 minutes or so.
Sure. Does anyone have any, you guys have, by the way, you guys have asked very good questions. I apologize for the glitch that we had. I should have known that my company sponsored laptop would give me the grief that it did, and it did because of security reasons, because we have a lot of information membership information access. So that's
Now,
why I had this.
Real quickly,
I have one
go ahead,
question.
Roni.
Now, in terms of New York, do you mean the entire state, or do you just mean like New York City and Long Island? Hello?
Gerald froze.
Oh, okay.
We'll let him thaw out for a second. He's still frozen.
Well, while
That's
that's happening, I just want to mention next week we have Family Caregiving Alliance. So you might want to tune in for that.
That's a really good organization. That's going to be really interesting. And if you guys have any colleagues that are not yet SRES, we have a training coming up, designation training. The information's in the email. But I just want to highlight when we're out and about with our realtor colleagues, if they aren't SRES yet, just give them a little heads up on what's going on with us and why they might want to get their SRES. Because it's a good thing.
And that's the same with the CSA too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as so this one's the 24th and 25th, live virtual. So everybody that even across the country, they can still sign up for it because it's on live Zoom. So
And if you're already an SRES and it's current, you can take it for $50.
yeah,
Wow, I spill more than that at
as an
lunch.
update, yeah, as an
Yeah.
update. So that's amazing. And then that because my thought was as soon as we get that completed, and then I'll pull up the next CSA live virtual training date.
When is that?
And I'll find out. I'll look on the portal and I'll find out because then we can get that information out to everybody as well.
How
Thank
often
you, Julie.
renew, like the SRES and the CRES, is it?
At CSA, Certified Senior Advisor, which is outside the real estate industry
Oh,
in the senior care industry.
okay. How often do we have to, you're making me think I better look at mine to see if my SRES is up to date.
The way that it works is that all you have to do is pay your dues.
Okay.
Every year on your anniversary date, they'll send you 3 emails and it's $99. I mean, I got my SRES in 2006 and it was $99 then, still hasn't increased. So there's no CE, there's no testing, there's no forms to fill out. You just pay the money and you're renewed.
So what if you didn't realize that and you didn't get, the 3 emails and
There's a process. If you renew within 2 months of that, you can renew by paying the fee plus a $50 fine. Outside of what is it? I think it's 5 months or well, it's on the website. If you go past that, you're going to have to retake the course again and get recertified.
okay.
So Lynn, if it's been a
Gerald's
couple of
back.
years and you
Gerald's back.
haven't, yeah,
Stop.
you haven't been
Gerald's back.
active, just sign up to take the class. Start all over.
Okay.
That's the best thing to do. Really.
Gerald's back.
Yeah,
Look,
greetings
Gerald
again.
thought
Hey,
you thought out. You
no,
thought
I,
out.
I did not. The Zoom gods have been very unkind to Gerald today, so I don't know what I did. I went to church on Sunday, so I guess it just held something against me from my childhood. But in any case, yeah, we have a very, very simple membership process. $99 a year for the emergent program. That will get you taken to a hospital or trauma center. The Fly You Home program, as mentioned, is $149, and we strongly suggest that you combine the emergent with the Fly You Home for $235. But since everybody that might be in your network is probably going to be 65 and older, it's going to be less, right? It's going to be $79 $225 for, for the combination of fly you home and emergent. And it's going to be, instead of being $375 for international, it's probably going to be like $350 for international. So very simple programs, very easy to take advantage of or utilize to the best of legal ability that we can offer. Thank you very much, Gigi. I appreciate it.
Could you say those senior numbers real quick again? So senior emergency.
$79 a year. I think it's $225 a year for the combined emergent plus fly you home. It's going to be in the digital email application that I'm going to send to Julie. Julie hopefully will send it to you guys, along with an explanation of what each program entails.
Okay, I have a quick question, and then Avery.
Sure.
So we would like to know if you're in an emergency, like a car accident or something, and then you're attended to by first responders.
Yep.
And you have no identifying item that says that you have this airlift program, the AirMedCare program, but you require a lift. But how do they know? How do the first responders know? I mean, like, what if they just call whoever they're supposed to call when they don't for the airlift, but you're an air care member? Can you bill that company or what? How does that work?
So this is the way it works. So using the Vasco Road example,
yeah,
something happens on Vasco Road. An individual has a car accident and they need to be transported to the nearest hospital, which is probably going to be in San Ramon, California here. So EMT, because they're going to be the first to respond, or CHP, they're going to call 911 back, and 911 is going to dispatch a helicopter. Because we are the largest, but we're not the only one. I want to make that abundantly clear. They're going to call who's first call. Who is first call? 90% of the time, 99% of the time, it's going to be us because we are the largest. So one of our helicopters, a CalStar or Reach helicopter, is going to come. They're going to retrieve the person from Vasco Road and fly them to San Ramon Medical Center. That person doesn't have any identifying markers or anything stating that he's a member of anything other than a boys club on him. The hospital will ask us, or ask the service in all likelihood that did the transport, is John a member with you guys or not? We have a database, as mentioned, of 3.2 million members. We'll search the database, we'll identify John, so forth and so on, if John doesn't have anything on him. Okay.
And then what if it's another carrier? Can they bill it to AirMedCare?
No, they cannot. They cannot. Just being honest with you, they cannot.
They cannot. Okay, that's good to know. Okay, Avery, go ahead.
Well, firstly, thank you so much for the presentation. This is, I didn't know this benefit existed, and the fact that it's so reasonably priced, as somebody pointed out in the chat, is like, it's pretty incredible that you can do this for starting at such a low price. My question is, obviously, I imagine you're covered by HIPAA because you are basically a healthcare provider in a sense.
Yes.
So in addition to like an advanced directive, healthcare POA, when someone signs up for your service, is there a way to put a designated like decision maker ahead of time? Because I'm thinking, obviously, when people need this service, they're probably going to be unconscious or something, or if they need it because they have when they have dementia. And is there a way that, like, let's say, if my father signs up and then he needs your service, is there a way he could designate me ahead of time where I could just talk to you and there's no paperwork to go through?
So typically speaking, the member who's considered primary, which presumably should be the one that's going to be the most lucid under most normal circumstances, should be the primary. Your dad should be a secondary, but you should be the primary. But when you sign up, there isn't any specific documentation other than you're designating yourself as primary. Okay. And yes, we are HIPAA compliant because we have to be. That was part of the problem that I had earlier on with my laptop because I was having a Zoom that wasn't intercompany, that I was having a hard time and I had to go to a secondary laptop. So yeah,
Great.
That's
Thank you
because
so much.
you're,
Thank you.
you're, you guys are welcome.
I was checking on two different ways to maybe get reimbursement. I wanted to verify. It appears that if you have an HSA
Okay.
already in place, you could have access to this. That would be one source of funds. And if we, because the HSAs allow for a wide variety of medical expenses. And I was checking from the IRS on that. I believe that looks like because they cover ambulatory services in HSAs, so they should probably cover this.
I would say ambulatory services as defined in HSA, and I don't know this, I would have to analyze it more directly and specifically, but they're probably referring to ground and not air. Ground is different than air because air is obviously more expensive because you have more moving parts. You've got control towers, you've got pilots, you've got flight crews
I don't
on
know.
both.
I saw an accident in Scotts Valley. The only way there's no way the ambulance could help them there. They had to get a helicopter. I
Yep.
see that sometimes on ski resorts, so I think that would be covered. Also, I did check. There are certain types that the new writers now run the life insurance policies with long-term care. Some of them now with the new versions also have aging care, which is just a flat cash amount. So that can be used for any expense for medical. So that's a possibility as well. So, I mean, but anyway, I do check out the HSAs, and I do think that would both work to help you get some cash in your hand right away if you needed it.
Well, that would be aid and adjacent.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
all.
think,
But yeah, good point.
I mean, when you look at, there's 36,000 licensed homes in the US. There's, 10,000 of them are 100-room plus. And then those are divided within about 100 companies. I would just, Argentum, Senior Housing News, oh my gosh. I mean, there's just like so many. I mean, it's like that this is nothing for the companies, and it's just it's a differentiator. Like no easy breezy.
Oh, we could have a whole marketing meeting just on that.
Yeah,
aspect right
totally.
there.
I mean,
Totally.
yeah.
Totally. Co-branding, marketing meeting, amenity driven. This is how we think, Gerald. Sorry.
No, I mean what you guys are proposing is everything that I would need because you obviously have a level of specialization in a space where I don't. And you know the groundwork, much better than I do. So yeah, I would be at your call in terms of how we can best proceed in these instances. So yeah, I look forward to it. By the way, I think it was Gigi that offered me the name of an individual, which I'm looking in the chat and I don't see.
Or Jessica. That was
Jessica.
Jessica.
Jessica, okay.
I think you put in that LinkedIn
Yeah, could you send it? I don't have, I'm
connection.
not in LinkedIn, Jessica. Can you send it to me again in the chat? I apologize.
And I have Gerald's info as well.
Yeah.
And, never fails. It's on the bulletin. It's on the bulletin.
Bingo. Bingo.
Oh yeah.
You got it. And you guys, you guys had, mentioned something that's really important, that this is so inexpensive. And it's inexpensive for a reason. Obviously we want to make money like any company that wants to survive in this economy should. But we want to create a service and a loyalty base that as many people as possible can participate in it. And they can participate it with peace of mind to know that there is a level of coverage beyond what their current insurance provides that they can take advantage of. And if you don't even have insurance, you can still be a member with us. There are a lot of people that don't have any coverage, by the way. A lot of the millennials, right? They're no longer under their parents' programs that travel and do risky things like mountain bike, like someone else does here. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yes, it's amazing. There's a million things that we can do now with it.
Yes.
Now our heads are just going to spin.
Good.
Well, I really appreciate your time, Gerald. This has been amazing.
Sure.
You're just permanently an affiliate of ours forever. I hate to tell you, you're stuck with us.
That works fine for me, guys. No worries whatsoever. Call me when you need some information, or call me if you want me to participate on something. And I assure you I won't have the problem the next time because I'll be using a secondary device, not the company sponsored HIPAA compliant one. Okay. So yeah.
All right, everybody, thank you. And thank you, everybody, for your time. Today,
Thank you.
again, Market Makers is at 1:30, and we'll see whoever can come with us then. I'll see you then, and we'll see everybody next week.
So,
See you guys.
Julie.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank
Sure.
you.
Thank you.
Julie?